welcome to Shelby Township Parks and Recreation in the News. I'm Joe Youngblood, and with us today is Carrie Crozier, who is the Parks Recreation Supervisor over at Riverbends Park and the Burgess Shadbush Nature Center. Carrie, it's always a joy to have you on your show, and your insight into the nature and parks it definitely is amazing. And we always get some nice impact asking about when's Carrie Crozier coming back to the show, so welcome back. And Carrie, go ahead.
Anytime that we can be on the show and introduce people to nature and
Sure.
on a layman's level, it's fun, it's exciting, and you never know what you're going to see.
Definitely.
Enjoy it.
Exactly. Now, Carrie, at the Nature Center during the summer, we have camps. The camps work out wonderful for the kids and also for mom and dad, especially if the working parents and they want to have some activities for the children during the summer. Very successful, these camps that we have, and kudos to you and your staff over at the Nature Center for all you guys do, and the feedback we get from the parents that sign their children up is nothing short of amazing. So 8 weeks long, each week consists of a different type of camp. Why don't you just highlight a couple of camps, maybe some of the more popular ones that we have?
On a side note, you say the working parents, which is true. A lot of parents need to have some place where they can send their child to have a quality thing where they're going to enjoy and actually get something out of. But you'd be surprised the parents that stay with their kids, and learn a few things too. So it's just a good experience for the whole family.
Well, that's good to know that because they're actually there for the kids to learn, not just to get them out of the house. They
exactly,
just,
it's welcome, and the parents appreciate it too.
Yeah.
Our archery camps were almost full, well attended. Many of the kids in our intermediate archery camp actually went to almost maximum levels with the instruction that we had.
And people would ask to hear intermediate archery for younger kids. So actually shooting a bow and arrow.
Absolutely. They start with the beginning level one where we teach them the basics with the stances, and the proper grip and, the smooth release and the form and posture and hold it, after they release so they're not dropping and pulling the arrow. And then, which is good. We get a lot of kids that go a long ways because we have a graduation system into that. But when you go to the next level camp, these kids already have those things down and they're playing tic-tac-toe and tearing balloons up and actually climbing even higher on that ladder of achievements,
So you can see the progression.
Absolutely, it's amazing to see. It's.
Now I know Joe Burgess had started these camps, and she's not able to volunteer as much time as she has in the past. But big special thanks to Joe Burgess for originally coming up with this idea and overseeing these camps for years.
Yep, and kudos to Cameron, her assistant. Last couple of years he's been assisting her, and this year he ran the camp himself.
Well,
he did a great job.
He did a great job. Learned from the best in Joe Burgess, so that's great that Cameron has been there doing it. So we had the archery camp. What was another favorite camp over there?
Exploring nature.
Yeah.
Critter and bug. There's just a couple of them where the kids actually go out and actually find insects, learn about different elements that might not be so good, but might want to know, I eat poison ivy. Here in Michigan, we have a lot of it, and to be able to identify it, know to stay away from it, it can save you a lot of aggravation and parents' aggravation too, I might add,
Well, that'd be nice for the parents to even learn that.
Yeah, FYI, and kids learn some fire building skills, and they did under the constructive, controlled system. They did well. Some kids, in this 9, 10, 11, they're not allowed to be around fires, but now that they've learned the proper technique and the safety technique to have the water and the shovels and the things to contain it if it does start to get a little bit out of control, they've come back to other camps and said, hey, we went camping and I got to light the fire, an achievement for them.
To hear.
Well,
using those skills in the family environment, family trips, wonderful.
And a trust factor between parents knowing, well, now I know I can trust him to do this. I'm still going to watch him, but I know he's not going to hurt himself. All good, a learning process, and anytime you achieve
learning the correct way with safety in mind, that's what it's all about. Well, that's wonderful. And so we're having those camps next year. I know you guys tweak them, maybe add something, take something away, but very popular camps.
Well attended, yes. Sportsman skills, same thing. Kids are going to learn to shoot BB guns and bow and arrows in a safe, proper manner.
I'm sure the kids
lucky
love
have paper
that.
This big, and at the end they're putting them all in a little tiny target, and self-achievement, accomplishment. They feel good, man. It's all.
That's wonderful.
Camps are great, man.
Oh yeah, definitely. Now, Carrie, I know this fall we have a couple different camps coming up. Just to touch on a few of them here, we have the Fall Color Wagon Rides and Campfire Cookout, and that's Sunday, October 11th from 11:30 to 3 o'clock p.m. Couple things on that. First, registration costs for that. How would a resident register? And walk us through that day. I know we've done it for a couple years now. And we've gotten some very nice feedback, and basically you feel like you're up north, and you even see the picture in the newsletter, the wagon ride. I mean, it's just a beautiful event. So just call the Nature Center to register.
Pre-registration is not mandatory.
Makes it even easier.
You can walk in. If you have a larger group, it is nice to know. Call us, give us a heads up, because if you got a Scout group or Girl Scout group where you got more kids, right? We can take and get our timetable down so everybody's accommodated. So it's nice to know if there's a larger group coming, but it's a walk-in program, and it's $2 per person. We start at the Nature Center with our wagon ride, and we actually take it and we go down along the Woodall pathway through that community park, and then across the bridge to the other side of the park where our picnic park area is, and drive through the parking lot there. And I didn't realize that there's a lot of color over there with the maples, with the reds and the yellows and the oranges.
Beautiful.
And oh my goodness, there's a lot of color there. So it's a good time, good ride for the kids. It's a long ride. It's not just down to the end of the street and back. Winding on the pathway, it's tractor ride, and kids and tractors, parents in color. It's going to be good weather.
That's a great combination.
Oh, it's a great combination. It's a great way to spend Sunday afternoon for a couple hours, to go out and bring your hot dogs and your buns and stuff, and have a little hot dog roast, go for a color wagon ride. Good family bonding, man. We need more of that.
Very good. Don't forget the marshmallows for the cookout, right?
Gotta have s'mores, man. You can't have a fire without s'mores.
You got that right.
Always a big hit.
Also coming up, Kerry, for another event, we have Spider Mania.
Yes.
And does that title explain itself?
Pretty much. It's self-explanatory. We've got a bunch of different spiders. The tarantulas we've had here on the show. We have some giant water spiders, fishing spiders, of quite a variety of spiders, and that's a pretty big hit because it's going into Halloween. Spiders are creepy, but it's nice to learn about some of these things because people don't realize the insects that they eat, with the bats and the spiders. And these things eat up a lot of insects that are not very nice.
Very
so it's good to have them around. Let's learn a little bit about them. You ain't got to hold them, but increase your awareness a little bit,
And that is a nice segue to October 23rd, the Haunted Nature Center. Spider Mania, the following week, the Haunted Nature Center. What a wonderful program the Haunted Nature Center is.
We gear it for the little ones, Joe.
Yeah?
I mean, you can go to some of these haunted...
Spooky, but not
gory.
Extremely crazy.
Yeah, and
scare-wise.
A lot of these places are geared for older kids and teenagers, and it just scares the bejesus out of the little ones, So we gear it for the lower L kids, so that, they can go in and get a little spooked, but not terrified and have nightmares,
Exactly.
And one thing I want to note that we encourage the parents, when they bring their children, to have another parent with them and do a walkthrough, just to make sure that it's their child is ready for that, because
that's a great idea.
Different kids grow and accept at a different level, and some kids it could be a little terrifying for them. So we encourage parents to do a walkthrough first, just to make sure it's at their child's level. It's a 2-day event, and we have a pretty good time at the Nature Center. We use some animals in some of the props, and it's just fun.
Yeah, 'cause you can make it as non-scary as you want, but some children, just when the lights get dark a little bit, that could scare them. So.
Well, case in point, we had one mother that had a 6-year-old son that dug it, man, and 9-year-old daughter that was a little bit terrified by it. She got through it, but she wasn't 100% ready for it. So,
I like the idea of walking through.
And that way they can make the decision whether they're ready for something of that nature. But it is designed for the little ones. We got a lot of places to go for the big kids.
Definitely.
This is for the little ones to go to their local nature center and have some fun,
Good.
It's awesome.
Very good. One other event, Kerry, we have the Nature Tales for preschoolers coming up, a few different dates for that. What is this program about?
The first and third Thursday of the month, we do a story time program for the wee ones, the preschoolers.
Sure.
It usually involves a story, and if the weather's nice, we'll either go out and do a nature walk, or we'll take and do a nature craft, so it's a 2-part program. In the past, we had a morning session and an afternoon session. Well, unfortunately, we're just going to run a morning session this year because of staffing, and that way we can put more into it, make it a better program.
Sure.
But it's just in the morning. It's 10 a.m.
Okay.
It starts on September 17th, and the first one is Nature's Paintbrush. And Lauren will be doing that, and she's great with the little ones, man. And it
definitely
just a good time, and they'll run all the way through until late May.
Oh, wonderful.
So first and third Thursday of the month. 10 o'clock, bring the little ones in and have some fun,
Yeah, great program there.
Good program, real good program.
Well, good, Kerry. You got some good stuff coming up at the Nature Center this fall. Looking forward to it. As usual, you bring your surprise guest with us today. I hear something scratching around underneath the table there, so if you want to bring them out.
I do, and I brought reptiles today, you know.
Oh, okay.
And
That's the theme for today, reptiles.
Reptiles. And there's a lot of a scare factor in certain reptiles, you know. Well, we bought a western hognose snake, and we bought, you know, a Massasauga.
Oh, no kidding.
Yes. So I got some information. What we'll do is we'll start.
Interesting with the pronounce it again, Massasauga?
Massasauga.
Massasauga. I was golfing in Oxford over the weekend
Oh,
up
yes.
at Copper Hills,
Yep.
and I was curious because I know a couple of courses up there used
Yep.
to have signage up there.
Yep. There's a whole band that runs from like Stony Creek Metro Park north at 34, 35 Mile Road, and it goes west all the way over past Clarkston, where it's a band where they're a little more abundant, prolific, you know what I mean? And basically, if you are an off-trail walker, you always don't want to damage any of the flora and fauna, but you want to be mindful, go slow, listen for the buzz. You hear a buzz, just stop, identify, retrace your steps. You don't race. This is not one of those run through the woods 5Ks, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And you take your time, and it's really not an issue, you know, where it would be a problem, you know? So basically, we was able to get this one from Stony Creek, you
Holy
know?
cow.
If you take and hold this one, and I'll kick and get the other one. So you can hold that rubber one, and I'll pick up this one.
Thank you. I will hold that.
Yes.
That was pretty good, Carrie.
You like that?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, boss.
That's all right. That was
You
good.
know, but a lot of people confuse the two.
If anyone turns the show on right now, they're going to think I'm really holding
Yeah. Yes.
snake.
There's a lot of confusion between the
Look at
two.
that. I see why the hognose
this is a
snake.
western hognose, and we had an eastern for many years, but we lost them, you know, because they don't live forever.
Is that venomous?
It's not venomous, but it does have fangs towards the back of its jaws to puncture a toad.
Oh, no kidding.
You know, because it does eat toads predominantly. The beauty of this one, it's a western, is we have some easterns, but they're real small. We don't bring them out just yet. Lauren is going to take and get them to a larger size. A little different color variant from the eastern to the western. But this western was bred in captivity, raised in captivity. It will eat little pinky mice. It will eat toads, whereas the easterns, pretty much toads are it. You know, so they can be very hard to take care of in a domestic environment, you know. Beautiful snake. She's getting ready to shed, so you can see her eyes are a little gray. But if you, we'll have Andy do some color drops later of the differences in the two different species. A lot of people actually, you know, we'll confuse them. We'll confuse a fox snake. We'll confuse a bunch of snakes, you know, with them. And you got to kill them. You got to kill them. You know. Do you like mice? I don't like mice. You know, mice can carry diseases and things, and they're a pest. Where hognose snakes will eat mice. You know, the rattlesnakes will eat mice. Your corn snakes will eat mice. Most of your snakes are going to eat mice. You know, so they take that out of the picture. You know, and we've got some zones for them where they're found. One difference between these two, which is I think is cool as heck, and the gardener shares it with that one, is live young. The rattlesnake and the garter snake have live young, whereas the hognose snake, the fox snake, corn snakes, all that have eggs. Which is kind of neat, you know.
Yeah,
you think, you know,
definitely.
they all have the same, but they don't, you know.
That is very
So that's kind of cool.
Now, is this their skin? Will that blend into?
This is
The
a lighter,
area?
yeah, it camouflage. This is a lighter variety, and it's in an area where it is a little more open and arid and stuff. And Andrew will show some pictures of the native one from eastern Michigan, hognose snake, later. And you can see it blends more in with the greenage and the foliage. It has a pattern on its back that is actually, you know, quite similar. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to be on the tail. Quite similar with the blotches and the banding that almost looked a little bit like Massasauga rattlesnake,
Yeah, it
you know.
really does.
And people think a dead snake is a good snake, and it's not true, you know. They have a place here too. You know, if you have a problem with a snake, you know, I'm sure there's neighbor kids that'll catch it for you, providing it's not one of those. And they'll relocate it somewhere else, you know, but they actually can be very good for your planter gardens, and they're kind of neat, startling, but neat, you know.
Yeah, that the hognose snake, very fitting name.
It's very intimidating.
It's very unique. Yeah.
It will flatten out its area behind its head, flatten out like a cobra, and hiss and posture up like a cobra.
Really?
It'll roll over and play dead.
Okay.
It hardly ever bites. It might bump, you know, but it hardly ever bites. It might fake strike, but it can strike you. one neat feature that my son experienced firsthand, he caught one up north. He caught it and he was handling it and it was trying to do the hissing and the flattening.
Caught the hognose snake?
Yeah, and rolling over playing dead. And they've got this hole in the back that they discharge unwanted material from, and they will actually like spray and leak. And it's a musty, nasty smell, and he got it all over his arms. It was a defense mechanism.
Sure.
Didn't hurt nothing, but it is gross. And he found out firsthand, you know. So any mammals and stuff, it would work towards them, whereas birds not so much.
Right.
But yeah, he found out firsthand that was one of their defense mechanisms. But a very neat snake, a great educational tool.
Yeah, definitely.
Great educational tool because they are so docile and so
So if anyone wants to
laid
see
back.
the Western hognose, stop by the Nature Center.
Yep, we have her on display at the Nature Center. And hopefully next year this time, if the diet goes well and our Easterns do well, we may even have an Eastern on display then, you know?
wonderful.
So that'll be neat, you know?
Well, very good.
The more live educational tools, the better it is, man.
Well, thanks for bringing the snakes on the show today, Kerry. We always appreciate your input and having the animals on display. And it's nice to show off the animals here for the people that haven't made it to the Nature Center yet to know. Stop by the Burgess Shadbush Nature Center and check out some of the animals that we have over there.
We get some animals out for the public to look and hold, and some animals we don't, you know. But still, you know, as I said in past shows, I'm born a Catholic boy, and this is supposed to be the devil, you know. And I wouldn't touch him unless I was wearing gloves. And there's still snakes that I'm leery of, you know. But I've worked on my phobia, and you know, not everybody, you know, wants to touch them. That's fine, but don't scream and yell and transfer your phobia to a young one, because you know they belong here too.
Definitely.
You know, and it's an unneeded phobia, you know. Same with spiders and other things, you know, just back off. Leave them alone.
Exactly.
Give them their space. It's all good.
Very good.
Cool.
All right, Kerry, thanks for being on the show. Appreciate it. And we'll be right back with Shelby Parks and Rec right after these messages.
There's a monster in my bathtub. There's one on the couch. There's a monster on my bed.
Keep innocent things from triggering an asthma attack.
Please make the monsters go away.
Learn how to stop their asthma attacks at noattacks.org.
Hello and welcome back to Shelby Township Parks and Recreation in the News. Once again, thanks very much to Kerry Crozier, Park Supervisor, always very insightful and does a wonderful job with our animals and reptiles over at the Nature Center. If you want to register for any programs, call the Nature Center 586-323-2478. We just want to update a couple of little different items that are going on in the parks at this time. The trail system, which is going to be part of the Macomb Orchard Trail all the way to Metro Beach Trail. And the part we're working on right now is Riverbends Park to the city of Utica. This is going to be completed by November 15th of this year. At this time, they're working on the boardwalk down in the south end of Shelby Township. And also they are putting in the tunnel, which is going underneath the railroad system in the city of Utica. So those are some pretty major focus points of the trail that are being worked on right now. So when this trail is complete, it will be beautiful. If you have any questions or if you'd like to get some maps of where the trail is going to actually run, give us a call at 731-0300. And you may have read in the paper, saw in the local news, that this is part of the Iron Bell Trail, which is Iron Mountain to Belle Isle. Governor Snyder was quoted in the paper as saying this is a very important trail to Michigan, and he's really expressed his support for this trail. So once again, yes, that was correct. From Iron Mountain all the way to Belle Isle, the section that comes through Shelby Township comes right through Riverbends Park. A couple notes on the sports end of Parks and Recreation. We have our basketball registration coming up, and we also have our newsletter going out in the third week of October. So anyone's looking for winter programming, winter-spring programming, keep an eye out for your newsletter, or visit shelbytwp.org for all of our Parks and Recreation program events. And also, if you have any questions, please give us a call or visit our Facebook page, Shelby Township Parks and Recreation. Give us a like, and we always keep all of our events and programs updated on our Facebook page. We really appreciate you watching. Until next time, please remember, here at Shelby Parks and Rec, we create community through people, parks, and programs. Thanks for watching.